Hi everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Soul Evolution. Welcome back if you are a regular viewer, and welcome if you are new. So today we are pulling cards for our fire signs for Taurus season. So we are pulling cards for our Aries, our Leo, and our Sagittarians, just to see what this earthly time holds for us. So we're using a couple of decks here: Ganesha, Earth Magic, just because, Angel Dreams Tarot, Oracle cards, two tarot decks, the Wandering Star Tarot, and the Light Seers Tarot. We'll see which ones come out, which ones I decide to work with today. But that's what I'm called to do. So how is everyone? So Taurus, our first earth sign. Sometimes it's a little hard for fire signs to lean into the earth signs because fire, we're energetic, right? We have we tend to be impulsive. And then all of a sudden we have this energy going, and then we meet an earth sign. And they kind of hold us back. Sometimes it can feel like we've been stopped in our tracks, when in reality, earth signs are asking us to slow down a little bit. Take a moment and, like, what's the rush? Where are you going to? Do you need to go so fast? And just let's plan a little more as to where we're going. I'm just making sure I have all the cards out of here. We're going straight into this for our Aries friends. I already did the general reading for everybody, so that is posted. We're going straight into our Aries sign, and this is our Ganesha cards. And let's just see what the cards hold for Aries. As Aries now, is under the influence of Taurus. They are next door neighbors, right? So Aries, for you, we have Clear Your Energy, number 16. And there's no book for this. It's just clear your energy. So, what energy? And we're all going through something. Now we'll pull our Earth Magic card. We're all going through something where we are clearing out the old in order to move forward. And I've said this before, we're going through big changes, some quantum leaps, some small leaps. But we're all going through something. But if we want something new to happen in our life, we have to unbecome or stop being what we are. So, and I use this analogy quite often. And then this is for Aries. And right away, DNA, karma. When the cards come out, they come out. And I use this analogy quite often, that if you're looking to save money, then you have to stop your spending habits. You have to change the way you spend money and stop spending on things that you don't need and start spending money into investment forms or that kind of thing, right? So we have to unbecome everything that is against where we're going or not in alignment. So, Aries, clear your energy, right? He's got, looks like he's got a little whip in his hand, like the wind is blowing around. A bit of a tornado happening here, right? Allowing the wind to kind of blow things around, to clear out all the stuff. We have DNA, karma, double helix. Karma, a concept in many Eastern religions, is a Sanskrit word implying the greater universal laws of cause and effect, providing an implied code of ethics within the structure of the seemingly endless cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, which we experience throughout our lives in many different versions. The mistaken notion about karma is that it's some type of punishment, but it's far from that. In fact, in its purest form, it simply asserts that our conduct in this lifetime will determine our next incarnation. It has also come to mean how our behavior and actions in this lifetime create consequences in a slightly different version of the golden rule, do unto others. Right? How you treat others how you want to be treated yourself, right? In this card, we see two intertwined serpents with double helixes on either side. Variations of this archetypal image exist in many cultures, both traditional and contemporary. It's a graphic representation of the most ancient ancestry we can lay claim to, our DNA, the fundamental substance to life itself that provides substantial determination of our life path. So, clearing your energy, clearing out the energy that is not aligned with you on your life path. How are you treating others in the world? But just as importantly, how are you treating yourself? A lot of this is about loving yourself, right? Self-care, self-nurture. How you move through this world. Are you treating yourself with kindness? Are you treating others with kindness? So this is clearing out the stuff that is not part of your journey. And sometimes when we don't do it ourselves, the universe will pop in and do it for us, right? And we know this. We have all experienced that. So we'll start off with the Wandering Star Tarot for our Aries friends, okay? When the cards fly out like that, we just let it happen. So what does Aries need to know in this season of Taurus? Where is Aries going? What lessons are they learning, or what new beginnings are making their way for our Aries? It's kind of like Aries blazes the trail, right? You start the whole thing off, and then Taurus kind of lays the groundwork for you, for the rest of the signs to come in. So what else does Aries have to hold here? Okay, I guess that's it for Aries. Four of Swords on the bottom, right? After you clear out your energy, you may need to take a rest, depending on how much energy clearing you are doing. Seven of Cups. We'll see how that plays into your reading. And 10 of Cups. So let's pull over your three cards that are face down. See, they are face down. Four of Wands, King of Swords, and the World. No wonder you need a rest, right? You've cleared out your energy. You have a lot of creativity coming in. You have a really clear vision of the world you want to create for yourself. You've gained a lot of clarity in these past 5 or 6 months. You've learned a lot about yourself, how the world around you works, and how you work within this world. So the world has its own way of operating, right? The universe has its own way of operating. You have your own way of moving through the world, and it's combining the two. Yeah, and take a moment, right? Taurus reminds us we don't have to rush. Tauruses very rarely rush into anything. They take their time, they get their plans, they lay the groundwork. Maybe in your resting phase, you're dreaming, right? And what do you want in your new dream world? You have your chalices, your cups. If anything is in here that is not aligned with you, you can clear it out. You have passion, extreme, and then you have extremes. You have choice, instinct. You have flowers. You have the snake, which is shedding off, again, clearing your energy, shedding off the old part of yourself that you've outgrown. Again, the double helix here, right? The snakes, your karma. How are you treating yourself moving forward? And how are you treating others? And there's abundance, right? There's fulfillment of life and joy and happiness and being attuned to feeling good, being attuned to love for others, love for yourself, and tuning in. Again, this is about the world around you and how you navigate through this world. You pull the world card, and it's how the world around you works. And again, there's another snake here. So some of you are really shedding a lot, clearing out a lot. We've got 3 snakes. Well, 4 technically, I guess. There's 2 on here, 1 in the 7 of Cups, and 1 in the World, right? Like, this is done. She's shedding off how she thought she was going to be moving through this world, and she's evolving into her newer self based on all the lessons that she's learned about herself and the world, right? Moving now with logic. We slow down our pace of energy, right? Aries, full of energy. All of our fire signs, right? Sometimes we just want to go. Taurus comes in. They slow things down. They lay the groundwork so you can get a clear focus on the world that you want, because there's completion, there's joy, there's abundance waiting for you. Don't move too fast, Aries. Take your time. The world will be there. Move slowly and move forward with the confidence of the King of Swords. Let's pull your angel dream card for our Aries friends. Thank you, Aries. A lovely way to start off the reading for our fire signs today. And I am filming this on Sunday the 20th. So for those of you who celebrate Easter, happy Easter to everyone. I taught my yoga class this morning. It was a little more powered up just because of all the indulgences of candy and all the festivities. So a little more energy there. So this is for Aries, our angel dreams. Moonstone, mystery, intuition. We have our wolf howling at the moon. Let's pull out so Moonstone for our Aries friends. If you don't have one, you may want to go get one. Do I have one here? I have one somewhere. It's not right here though. It's a really great stone to have when you're trying to tune back into your intuition. If your energy gets really fired up, it's a really good stone to bring you back in. Again, mystery, intuition. This card is asking you to take time to observe the mysteries around and within you, such as your dreams, intentions, and relationship to the world. We just talked about that with the world card, about how the world works and how you work inside this world, how you fit in it. And this card comes up as a confirmation to all of that. Work on honoring your psychic skills. Deepen your intuitive understanding to the sacred through travel, study, connecting with mystical sites, spiritual workshops, observing nature, and discovering the god, goddess within. Moonstone is an enhancer of clairvoyance. This gem represents the High Priestess, keeper of feminine mysteries and intuition. As you might expect, Moonstone resonates with the moon. It is asking you to connect with your emotions, Open up to the deeper meaning and inner workings of life. Take time to delve into your intuitive state. This card also asks you to become attuned to the cycles of the moon. Notice its phases. Chart how they affect your body. Moonstone stimulates the functioning of the pineal gland, balancing the hormonal cycles of nature's rhythms. The pineal gland, we've talked about that before. It sits from the crown of the head about an inch to an inch and a half down and straight back from the center of your forehead. And that is believed to be the seat of the soul and the body. Your archangels, Aries, are Haniel, Jeremiel, Jeremiel, Raguel, and Raziel. So work with Moonstone for revelation of your past lives during dream time. Remember to extend compassion to yourself and others, especially at this time. So, and again, this karma card came up asking or stating that how you move through this world determines your incarnation in the next. So how you treat others. Just be mindful of all that. And if you've had a rough spell of things, most people have been going through a really rough patch. Again, Four of Swords, take a moment. Take a break. Taurus season, we're not rushing. We are really starting to tune in to our own self. So Aries, that is your reading. I hope that has resonated with you. I'm just going to put these cards back in the decks. If you have any questions, Aries, about your reading or about these cards, put it in the comments or feel free to reach out to me. And I like to stagger these cards because they have a tendency to come back again and again. And we will go on to our Leo friends once I get this in here. So Leo. Leo, hello. How is our big-hearted lionesses? How are we? So what does this season of Taurus hold for our Leo friends? How is our Leos? Very compassionate souls, Leos. They are true friends. And Leos and Tauruses, although one's an earth element and one's a fire element, they both have the qualities of loyalty. And there's someone that you can really trust. So if you have a Leo or a Taurus in your life, really hold them in tight because they are tried and they are true. They are extremely loyal as friends and confidances. So they're good people to have in your life for sure. So Leo, your Ganesha card says, inner knowing. And just look how peaceful that card is. Right? He's meditating on a rock on the edge of the lake. Beautiful mountains in the background and the little lotus flowers here in the foreground. Inner knowing, Leo. Like, you just know. So a lot of psychic hits coming in for Leo, I think. A lot of these things where you just know something without really knowing. Like you've never seen it or heard it before, but you just know, like, this is it. This is the right thing. And in our last reading for all the elements, psychic abilities came out for Leo. So let's see what the cards hold for you. But I tend to think or tend to feel that you're going to have a lot of, this is beyond intuition. And I keep saying I need to do a video on this. We have learning to trust yourself, leaning into your intuition, and then there is developing your psychic abilities, which is your clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, and then there is the knowing. So those of you Leos who already are quite psychic are going to be going into the next level of the absolute knowing. That's a higher level on the other side. So this is probably going to be talking to the earth angels out there. And that's maybe another, if you have an interest in knowing about earth angels, let me know. And I can do a whole video on that. It doesn't have to be a series, just one video. So Leo, what is your earth magic? Ceremony, invocation. I love this. She's got her own little sacred space. So if you don't have a sacred space in your home, might be a good idea to create one. It doesn't have to be big. I'm sorry. My phone is going off. It doesn't have to be a big space. Just a little corner. I tend to have a lot of spaces, but that's me. You can just have like a little shelf here. Like I have my love. I have my crystal here. I have my Buddha, mala beads. It could be something really small. Of course, I have like all my books down here. We can create something with just the elements that that resonate with you. You can have a candle. Like back here, I don't know if you can't see this table. My chair top is in the way. I have a crystal ball. I have the cards I'm working with now. I have a candle. I have a Buddha and a clear quartz crystal. So maybe create sacred space. That's what I'm getting at for our Leos. Ceremony, invocation. It is in sacred ceremony that we have one of the greatest opportunities to experience communion with the source. Now, I said just a few minutes ago that those of you who are already tuned into your psychic abilities, you're going to be going into the higher space of the inner knowing. And this is exactly what this card is talking about. Communion with source. One where the perceived dualities of both heaven and earth merge into an experience of the divine. Through the use of sacred pieces that have become imbued and with spiritual significance, we bring forth ceremony catalyzed by clear intention and preparation. Sacred ceremony is prayer in action. So for me, that would also be a yoga practice because that is moving the body. The body is a prayer in motion. But you do you. In this image, the woman kneels before an altar where a number of crystals are placed. Light emanating from her hands. We see the incense burning. Snake spirit rests nearby. Let me see if I see the snake spirit here. Oh, yes, right here. So again, another shedding here. There's the snake right in the corner. Snake spirit rests nearby, and various ethereal beings appear in a wispy shroud of light around her head. All the while, the tapestry upon which she sits appears to be on fire, symbolizing a fiery passion brought on by the intense focus of spirit that has been invoked for this ceremony. Calling spirit forth in this way facilitates a direct and heartfelt sense of relatedness to source. So these are the flames underneath of her, right? So she's invoking her inner passion. She's really making a direct contact or connection to source. And there are different levels to get there. Prayer and meditation are one. Then opening up the channels to intuition is another. Then opening up your psychic abilities, that's the next level. And then from there, it is a clear path to source. And that's, for most, that would be being an earth angel. So let's come in to the Wandering Star Tarot for you. Let's see what the tarot holds for our Leo friends. I'm sorry if you hear all that dinging, my phone is making noise. And it doesn't matter if I put it on Do Not Disturb or not. somehow things still keep coming through, so my apologies. But maybe you can hear the birds chirping out there. Maybe they will counter all of that. So Leo, you're evolving, and the Devil card comes up. How fitting. You are evolving. You're going to that inner knowing, that space where there is no question. There is just only peace. Sorry, that was too many cards. So, in the process of evolving, Leo, or whoever, this is for Leo, but some of you, this is for our sun, moon, and risings, right? So you don't have to have Leo as your sun sign for this to resonate. You could have it as your moon or your ascending or rising sign. Once we start to feel these pullings of something unknown, but something that feels right, we then start to question. Queen of Swords. And we start to question, wait a minute, is this really right? We tend to tether ourselves back to where we are, where we're moving out of, where we're coming from. So there could be some confusion about that, some fear of going in to the unknown. But then we get clarity. We have the Queen of Swords, and I will show you the cards. The Queen of Swords comes up. This confusion or thought of, like, is this really right for me? Like, I'm a little afraid of this. It doesn't last very long because you have the Queen of Swords, and she's all about clarity, right? She's cleared the way. Very much, we had our King of Swords, right, for our Aries. Being clear and focused, right? Cutting off. The swords can also be cord cutters. Cutting off the things that are in your way of your inner knowing. You have 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles on the bottom. So Knight of Cups. And Cups is associated with the heart, emotions, love, compassion, intuition. 7 of Wands and 8 of Wands. So let's dive in for our Leo friends. So again, inner knowing. If you are looking to expand your spiritual education or awareness or aptitude, whatever it is you want to call it, right? Sorry, my table's a little crooked here. You might want to start a spiritual practice, starting slowly, right? What resonates with you? Maybe it's some meditation, incense, a candle, and a couple crystals. And maybe you just keep it nice and simple. Once you start leaning into that, you'll start to wake up. That's such a cheesy way of putting it, though. You'll start to have these really deep psychic hits where all of a sudden, like, you just know. That was kind of my journey into yoga. Like, I just knew I had to do it. But when we start to transition and to change, like, we want to stay where we're at. Like, we know this. Like, we know this. We don't know that. So we get a little afraid. We want to stay attached to the things that are keeping us small. So if you're starting to have some awareness or some personal growth or mental, emotional, or spiritual growth, Leo, and if you're finding hesitancy, take a look at where you're clinging on to, what you're still holding on to, and maybe journal that out. It's not going to last long. You will gain clarity very quickly. And it's probably through some divine source. We have the 6 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles. So it's always like remembering where you came from. As you start to elevate in your spiritual ascension and your spiritual knowledge, don't forget where you came from. You've got really important choices coming up for you. And these choices may feel like they're throwing you off balance a little bit, because you're going from a place of comfort. Even if you don't like where you're at, It's always uncomfortable to move and to shift and to change. But you've got this, Leo, because you've got the Knight of Cups. That intuition is opening at a very nice pace. It's not going to be too fast. It's going to be at a pace that you can handle. And in doing so, Seven of Wands. When we make changes, right, there's challenges. There's mental challenges. Most of them are, where'd you go? Are mental challenges. And that's all it is overcoming your mindset or changing your mindset. And I've said this before, on my phone, I made a screensaver with my affirmations. So when I wake up in the morning, because my phone is my alarm, that's the first thing I see, and that's the first thing I say to myself when I am, when I wake up. So your affirmations, Leo, can be like, I am safe as I evolve into this new phase of my life. Once you accept that, Eight of Wands, you're full on. And a little archer there, I always call it in the little Sagittarius element. So, and Sagittarius is the sign, the fire sign after Leo, right? So you're moving into that next phase. Again, you had the Queen of Swords. Clear, direct focus. Sagittarius, right? That bow and arrow. Aiming for your target, and you're going to hit it. Leo, this is great for you. I love this for you. Let's round you off with your angel dreams. Leo, hopefully this has been inspirational. Card fell out. 2 cards fell out. But we'll take them both. Leo, the first card is school, lessons. And the second card is, I'm telling you, when this stuff comes together, new waxing moon, conception, inner self, expansion. Inner self, inner knowing. I mean, this is really, don't you just love this? Don't you just love this? I do. This is why I'm here, right? So let's read your first card, Leo. School, lessons. School represents the lessons you're learning at this moment in your life. This dream card asks you to notice if you're learning on an elementary or university level. Who is helping you with your lessons? Acknowledge those teachers and mentors. Take time to find the answers or solutions so you can graduate. For example, perhaps you're dreaming of being in 1st grade, trying to solve a math equation. The teacher is guiding you through the problem. You can interpret this to mean that you are at the beginning level of this lesson. You're trying to solve an issue that has stumped you. Your dream might be telling you that you need to ask for help, or one in which you forget your homework might be a sign that you're panicking over something that could easily be resolved. So not get too much in the mind, but take a step back, right? Take that step back. The angels associated here, Leo, are Zadkiel. Okay. So before bedtime, focus on a situation with the intention to have your lessons revealed in your dreams. And then new waxing moon, conception, inner self, which goes right back to your first card of inner knowing. And expansion, which of course you are evolving. So I'm going to use the word evolving. So again, Leo, this card asks you to expand and stimulate your nightly visions. Again, all of this comes around your dreams, right? Through active dream work, which might consist of affirmations, setting dream intentions, journaling, dream meditations, and learning dream recall techniques. The new moon symbolizes the deepest movements of your inner self. Intentions planted during this phase will have much power behind them. You may or may not be aware of the intentions you've set forth, so pay close attention to the messages your dreams are sharing with you during this lunar cycle. Archangel is Haniel, Haniel, associated with the symbol as is the Egyptian deity Thoth, Thoth, although I think it's Thoth. A deep meditation or rest is called for. Allow your thoughts and ideas to germinate. The timing is right for attracting and manifesting that which you desire. Leo, really. I mean, it's all there. It's completely, the path for you is unfolding. Are you going to walk the path? Or are you going to stay in lesson 1 in the elementary, or are you graduating into the university? I don't know. Let me know, Leo. Let me know. Let me filter these back into the deck. And we'll go on to our last fire sign, our Saggies. Again, I like to filter these back in because, that's just what happens. Sometimes they come back out. Okay, Sagittarius, what is your growth? What are you learning in this season of Taurus, right? So what is the messages for Sagittarius in our Taurus season here as we enter this new phase? It feels like a brand new start, right? Finally feels like the new year is here. So our Ganesha card for Sagittarius. Prosperity. Holy moly. Look at that. All right, Saggies. There you go. Let's see what the cards hold for you now. Prosperity. So Saggy, what do you need to know about prosperity? What is this holding for you, right? What is, I thought I saw a card flip over. I did. So we'll just take it. Forest. Breath. And look at that. A perfect card for our Taurus season. Nature. Earth. Groundedness, breath. I'm sorry. Again, these messages, sometimes it just is what it is. Okay, Sagittarius. First is prosperity, and now we have a breath. As we make our way across the meadow to the thicker parts of the forest, there is a subtle shift in the sensations in the body, one that might initially be barely perceptible, but soon becomes undeniable. It's nearly impossible not to take deep breaths. The richness of the forest's oxygen, given freely and generously from the trees to us, is a natural exchange for the carbon dioxide we release every time we exhale. Further, the animals in the forest participate in this exchange as well, in what is one of the most miraculous and remarkable collaborations between plants and animals that serve to help each other live and thrive. The ratio of this oxygen to carbon dioxide exchange has been in balance for millennia, but has been changing quite dramatically in the last several years as carbon dioxide levels have been rising. Yet there are many parts of the world where we can still enjoy the refreshing and revitalizing effects of an afternoon enjoying the sights, sounds, and smells of a walk in the forest. Through prayer and action, we can express our gratitude to these tree beings for the many gifts they provide, not the least of which is contributing to the very air we breathe. Things are different after a walk in the forest. This is for sure. I've been out walking the past couple of days. It's been really nice here. So maybe the prosperity is the richness of nature, right? We tend to think of prosperity as money, but richness comes from all forms, including nature itself. Because if we're not respecting nature, then we can't have a prosperity in our lives, because the prosperity of nature is diminished. So we'll have the same deck here for our Sagittarians. Right away, Three of Cups comes popping out. Two of Wands, choices, celebrations, choices. Where are we going, Sag? What does the tarot hold for Sagittarius for Taurus season? So Three of Cups, right? And again, this is, abundance, but celebration, enjoying community, family, celebrations, love. This could, this could be a wedding for some Sagittarians. You may be going to a wedding. Two of Wands, right? Making choices, maybe some partnerships. Okay, Saggies. Two of Wands, Three of Cups, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, the Empress. Right. The Empress. Harmony, balance, knowing, self-worth. Let's see what's on the bottom for Saggies. Eight of Wands. We just had this for our Leo friend, and you see she's got the bow. Eight of Wands. Five of Cups. What are you leaving behind, Sagittarius? This could also be an emotional healing moment. Seven of Cups. And again, and Nine of Pentacles. We'll stop there, or we'll end up. So let's see, Saggies. Where are we? Again, prosperity. Abundance, right? Abundance of the things that you need to sustain yourself in life. It can be financial. It can be clean, fresh air, clean food, clean water. Celebrating the joys of life. Celebrating the simple things. Celebrating your friends, your family, your time together. Making choices. New sparks. Right? New sparks coming up. As those sparks start to grow, we have a new vision for ourselves in the Three of Wands. We've got our little glasses on, like we're looking deeper into the future, because we know we're going someplace big. You're confident. A lot of you are either teachers in some form or fashion, or going to become teachers. And that does not necessarily mean in the traditional classroom, but like this here. Right? This is kind of a teaching thing as I'm reading, the tarot cards. It could be using your life as an example to help others move through their life. You're going to your higher self. You're elevating yourself to a place where you're really feeling strong inside of yourself. And once you make the decision, Sagittarius, right, again, you're focused on exactly where you're going. Once you shoot that arrow, it hits your target directly. Some of you are healing, though, from a broken heart, or from misunderstandings in relationships. This is where you have to choose to say goodbye to some of the old pains, some of the old heartbreaks, or to the thought of how you thought your life would be and it hadn't turned out that way. So you grieve that, Because once you do, you get to dream. Seven of Cups, again, this came up with our Aries. You get to dream and you get to decide what you fill in your dream cups. Certain things need to go. And look, there's a rainbow pouring right into the cup. There's the crescent moon and the stars. There's passion. There's extremism. There's a prosperity of jewels, right? You get to then decide, once you move on from this heartbreak or the way you thought life would have been or should have been, once you decide to move on, you can make a new dream for yourself. And once you decide to create your own dreams, abundance makes its way into you. Nine of Pentacles, abundance. Everything comes together for you. Coming full circle. Comfortable life, prosperity, everything that you ever wanted to have is there, Sagittarius. It's all coming in. Take a moment. Just breathe. Just breathe. So let's pull our Angel Dreams Oracle card for our Sagittarius friends. And we'll see what the final guidance is here. And this will round out our fire signs in our, as they move through Taurus season. Okay. Card popped right out. Past life gifts review. Although I think it's supposed to be a happy. The light is shining on her. She looks a little scared though. So, it kind of looks like that Chucky doll. Sorry, Sagittarius. But let's see what this says. Okay, gifts and review. This card is asking you to recognize the gifts you have acquired throughout this lifetime and others. It is time to remember those lessons you've learned on your soul path in order to bring them into the present for the highest good of all concerned. So this can align with your Five of Cups, of what you've learned, and then the gifts, right? So let's just see what else this says. This card also asks you not to dwell on past life experiences. Don't discount the lessons you are learning in this lifetime. Exercise free will, take responsibility, and live in the now. So this is talking about past life. So this, where did it go? Now, within one life, it could feel like we've lived many lives. We've lived the life of a child and of a high school student, a college student, as a young adult, and on and on and on. So this could be shedding the past life in order to dream of the new one. Exercise free will, take responsibility, and live in the new. Okay, archangels associated with this are Raziel, Jeremiah, Raphael, and Raguel. Heal any unresolved relationship issues from the past lives or from this one. And again, this is that Five of Cups. Healing that. Look to your recent or ancestral past for wisdom by studying indigenous spiritual traditions or your cultural heritage, and review patterns of disharmony in your current life so you may perceive their cause. So there we go, Sagittarius. We are healing the past to move into our place of abundance or prosperity. Take the time, Saggies. Slow down. I know, I'm a Sag. I can get very easily caught up in the need to rush, especially as a triple fire. Slow down and breathe. Mourn the past. You have to release that in order to fulfill those new wishes and to create new wishes and dreams for yourself. Okay, so my fire signs, that is your reading for Taurus season. If you have any questions about the cards or the reading itself, put it in the comments. If you would like to schedule a courtesy call and to see what kind of reading is that you would need to have for yourself, then send me an email. I'll be more than happy to sit down with you and connect. And until the next reading, always sending you light and love from my soul to yours. Take care, everyone, and enjoy your day.